Welcome everybody to the Agentic Way. Today I have the opportunity to present Funsho, that was my old colleague in support in Nigeria. It was amazing how he took all the opportunities he had, and I really remember him working hard there. So we are going to have the opportunity to know a little bit more about himself and how, if you take the opportunities that life provides you, you can really change your life. So for starting, Funso, can you introduce yourself and tell your history to everyone?
Okay, thank you, Pablo, for the warm reception. Yeah. Like Pablo said, we worked together in support, and it was a very fun time, and I would say a defining time for me back then. So currently about my history. So now, or let me say how I started. So I've once worked as a configuration specialist for a parking automation company, whereby we get to automate parking systems. And I think that was the last job I did before I transitioned into Microsoft. And a day my HR looked at me and said, "That's the HR in the other company." And she said, "I think you would be a good fit for this role." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She said, "My younger brother just got in and he joined as an Azure engineer." And she asked that, "Why don't I also try it out and see what happens?" So that's how I entered into Microsoft support. Then I applied for, I think, Microsoft 365 support engineer. And I got a call, and the person said, "Have you worked with any ERP system, CRM system?" I said, "Yes, I've configured Odoo CRM before and used it." The person was like, "Okay, yes, I think you have an idea." Now you'll be in for the Dynamics CRM role. I'm like, "Okay." So that's how
Nice.
it all got started. And really, since then, it's been fun. And I think that's about almost 2018, 2019.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
long time ago.
2018, 2019, they're about. Yeah, so it was around that period when I joined. I think 2018, August, I could remember. Yeah, I remember the month specifically. And it was fun during that period. So I joined, and before I knew, the team was splitted into two. And that was when Power Platform came into Nigeria.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
And just to give a little bit overview on to everyone, I was in Microsoft Spain, and we have a lot of colleagues in Portugal, and some of them traveled to Nigeria, and we train up a big number of external company to help us in our day to day. There were like 30 persons, something like that, and many of them, that's the truth, didn't took the opportunity. They didn't really wanted to learn, or they were asking all day. And Funso was all day, "Oh, this is amazing," or "I want to explain this, and I want to do this other thing." And there were also another person that I don't remember her name. It was a woman that also took the opportunity, and she was all day hardworking. But I really remember you like work. I delivered many trainings to the vendor team, and you were like, "Pick me, I love this," or you really like put a different motivation than the other people in the team.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why. That's why. So when we worked together in Microsoft support in Africa, what was that period like to you?
Wow, it was a huge, and I would say a defining time in my life, because then I just started living alone. So, getting out of university or college, as they say in Europe, yeah. So, and I got into my first job, second job in about 2 years space. And now I'm going into because previously my first role was actually being a pre-sales engineer. So I already had touch with HP, touch with Cisco, touch with IBM. So I understood how those hardwares were working, the softwares were working. But I think Microsoft just brought a new flavor to the whole experience. And back then, what I tend to see is that, okay, I think this is the future. There's a lot of opportunity in this. And I could actually see that it wasn't just the CRM things. I could actually see that there's Azure, there was the M365, and it was like, okay, this is a huge ecosystem. So really, that period in my life was a time when I said, okay, let me put all I can to actually gain as much and learn as much as I would, which is why in every of the training session, I remember Miguel, I remember Rosario, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
I remember Eduardo, I remember Anna.
Anna.
Anna, in fact, I and Hannah, we
Yeah.
still we still had I raised the support ticket of recent, and it was Hannah.
No, I can't believe. I can't believe.
Yes, it was Hannah who picked up the support tickets, and from supporting, we just started chatting. Yeah, so it was actually a defining time where I just kind of let me zone in and gain as much as I can. And one thing that really drove me then is that it was new in the country. As of 2018, the companies in Nigeria, even in Africa, I think it was only South Africa as of then that was actually doing, I would say, a bit more that Nigeria was doing in Power Platform as of 2018 thereabout. So it was pretty new, and I said that okay, if it is new, why don't you join the first pioneers of those who would actually drive this within Nigeria? And I ended up leading a community of Dynamics Power Platform in Nigeria. Actually,
Oh, nice.
we hosted a conference that held about 300 participants during that period. That was before the COVID. And yeah, quite a lot of people have passed through the community and now doing great things all over the world.
And just for giving a little bit context, I worked 2 years in support, and then I moved as an architect. About that is what I am working now. But support is tough. You learn a lot of things, but you also it's a time where you need to really go out your comfort zone, and you need to speak with angry customers many times.
Yes.
And how did working in support tech help you during your career and during your life?
So working in support was actually something I never envisioned to happen. And the way it happened, I would say that one thing that was very important was that we had the essential tools. Like this was Tech Expert in Nigeria, where I worked as a support engineer, contracted to Microsoft. And one thing they did exceptionally well was that because we had about almost 2 months of training, and the first 3 weeks thereabout was basically on soft skills, letting us to know how to understand your customer. You can have this class of customer, you can have this class of customer, this is how you respond. So they really did well. That's the trainers did well, onboarding us and equipping us with that knowledge of how to handle irate customers, how to handle the nice customers, ensuring you're following the process. So they did a good job laying that foundation because that foundation really helped. Because hadn't been the soft skills, because most people think, oh, it's just the technical skills that is more important. In actual sense, in support, the soft skills I would say is even 70% of the skills needed to succeed in support. 70%. The remaining 30%, I've seen people resolve issues of a customer within 5 minutes and they got a 2 star. They got a 3 star. And you'll be wondering why, what happened? But the thing is, when you bring in the soft skill, you bring in empathy, you bring in the emotional aspect of things, you get to understand them, feel their concern, feel their pain. I've worked with a customer, the ticket lasted over 100 days. I got a 5 star. How did that happen? It's the soft skill. I wasn't
I
resolving his
mean,
problem, but we kept meeting, we kept setting timelines to discuss on progress. And they really, I think one thing support does is it brings you in connection with the other person, letting them know that, okay, I'm not just this other guy at the end of the call of the phone, but I'm actually here with you to see this through with you. So I think once that happens, so I think that was one of the things that actually sets the basis for me to be able to succeed and move up the ladder in support.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for saying. But however, right now you are not in support. I know
Yeah.
that you live long time ago in Nigeria, and now you are living in Malta. I'm so
Yes.
jealous. All day you can be in Iceland. You tell me that you have a lot of humidity. You have the beach.
Yeah,
How this
the sun is everywhere.
how this opportunity happens, and um, how was this moving between one country and another?
It was fantastic because so I left support and then I decided to take a role with a partner organization in Nigeria. So I was like, okay, I've worked support, I know the back end, I understand how the process works in Microsoft. Yeah, so what's the next thing? So I then thought, okay, why not get into actual project work? Okay, interfacing with those clients you support, get to sit in meetings with them, help them design solutions because now you have an understanding and you will be in the best position to assist to let them know what is obtainable. You understand the limitations, so why not put them through? So that was how I said, okay, I took up this new job with a Microsoft partner in Nigeria, and I was there for a year. Then I think LinkedIn, I saw a chat on LinkedIn asking, there's this role in Europe, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see. So that's how I then applied for the role. Then I didn't even know it was going to be with one of the big fours, KPMG, MBS. So following through the entire process, then it was actually LinkedIn that brought, and I think in a way that period, I think I made some adjustments to my LinkedIn profile. So I updated some of the things I did. Then I think within that period of being in tech expert and working with a partner firm, I also took up trainings. So I held webinars. I trained for some private organizations, and I started posting my badges, 500 student, 250 student, instructor.
Nice.
So I was putting that online, and I think that actually added to it. So from support to training, from training while trading, working with clients, designing with clients. So it's just kind of made it rounded for me to then be able to be a good fit in this current role that I currently have.
Amazing, and some really good tips if someone is thinking to do the same. One question that I have, because I have never experienced that, and also you don't change country, you change continent.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part for leaving and start again in another country, totally different?
What I'll say, my family. So um, I just had so I had a twin baby, a boy and a girl, and I had to leave them like when they were a year and few months old. So that was one
It was
challenging
hard for you.
aspect for me. Yeah, it was very challenging because it's just going to be my wife and my family back home with them. But thank God for of good family support. So my mom was there, my younger ones were there, my sister were there. So they actually didn't make her feel like this guy is away. And yeah, I think that I would say that's the toughest. Then the next is adapting. I think adapting, I wouldn't say it's tough. It was quite easy because Malta is English speaking. So going down, walking down the street, I was confident I would get someone who would speak the same language as I understand. So I think that gave me a level of confidence as well to integrate with the environment here. Then also the organization did a good job of having the HR set up so many things that could help you like settle in very quick. I didn't have to bother about getting an apartment. That is as of then. I didn't bother about getting an apartment before coming in. I was in an hotel, so I had about a week thereabout and a half to settle in, understand how things work. So I would say yes, it was easy integrating in, and I missed quite a number of things. I missed friends, I missed family. Then I ended up finding where I could get African cuisine. So I could get the Nigerian food in the local market here, which was nice. So I didn't feel too far from home. Yeah, and the weather was nice. So I think the weather was another thing. My first winter here was crazy because I haven't experienced winter before. So I was always sleeping with my stocking up my leg and wearing gloves. But now, like, I'm already getting so much used to it. I think the weather also was a change that I needed to adapt to.
I think our body change also adapt to everything. And are your family now with you in Malta?
Yes, yes, I would say I
Uh,
am to an extent. I'm gradually picking up the local language. I'm gradually picking up the local language. Then so because my kids they attend the school here, so sometimes
Amazing.
they actually come home and they speak Maltese. So you have to also flow with them. Sometimes we use flashcards and we get to communicate. And also there are a lot of things going on around that you also need to be aware of, like their festivity period. They have lots of celebrations around, lots of fireworks going around. So you have to follow and understand what's going on. Then in the community where I stay, I also get to now understand how the people here, how they think, how they go about their things, and also getting to go around because I know the first time I came, I don't go to places, but when my wife arrived, we had to go places. So now at least I've been to the north part of Malta, the south part of Malta, to some very I would say historic places here on the island. There are actually a lot of historic places on the island, and now I've been able to visit some of them.
Amazing, mate. I feel you like a Maltese people. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Maltese people, they are nice. In fact, I would say one of the things is hospitality. So the first apartment I stayed in, there were these two elderly couples that stayed at the penthouse. And there was a day I came back from church and I saw in the front of the house a box of gifts, a box of clothes and toys for the kids. And I'm
oh,
like,
nice.
come on. And that's how they are. Sometimes they come just checking on you. Like Maltese are very, very nice people. Very, very nice people.
I'm so happy that you feel that way. And how did your life and career change after taking this opportunity?
Yeah, it really changed because now I'm getting to see a bigger perspective to things, to how things work, especially in the workplace. You know, now you're working with the big four, so definitely a lot of processes you need to imbibe, quite a number of personalities. I wouldn't say personalities, but I would say that like a code of conduct, so to speak, and that has really helped because what you think you know when you come in here, you would get to see more people. And I think one of the great things with working here is that there are several people from several ethnicities and with several backgrounds. So there are several flavor of knowledge. I love saying flavor because you think of so many things. So there are several flavor of knowledge here. And the other day I was chatting with someone from F&O team and I was explaining what I was doing while integrating with F&O, and it was like, I'm also going to be needing what you're talking about. I also have so there's just these need to you people are eager to help people, and I think I picked that from support as well. If you are not enthusiastic about helping people solve problems, you can't succeed in support. You have to be
Agree.
passionate about it. You have to be passionate. And I think many of us here also embody that. I want to see this person, I want to see the person succeed. So I think there's that sense of belonging here where you see that you are valued, you could reach out to people, they would set out time to help you with so many things. So I think coming has actually opened my perspective of how so many things get to work, both in my corporate life and even in my personal life. And a lot has changed as well, especially in the personal life, because now growing up with kids and the family, and now you have to build your agenda. Back then, while I was in tech expert in support, do you know I resume at about maybe 7:30, and I close 10 p.m. sometimes. I
Oh
follow
my
the
God.
night, yeah, I follow the night bus back home just because I want to stay back and do some things. And here, you can't have that luxury. Or even before I even came, you can't have the luxury because there's already family. So you have to plan your life around family. And I think that's one good thing as well, being able to be responsible for other people. And so, yeah, it's been, I would say, a cruise at the moment with some bumpy rides. And yeah.
I really want to highlight your mindset because just to share with everyone, I don't know if 50, 60 people join to the team of support, and at least me, I didn't see anyone that was hard worker, better mindset, and now I don't know where all these people end in his life, but probably you were the one that more succeed, but it was not by a lottery, it was because you were really hard working, and I really remember that when I see LinkedIn, I changed to Malta, to the Big Four and everything, I was so happy at home and say, this guy really deserved it and really hard work for make it. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
congrats, mate. You really deserve it. And I'm
yeah.
so happy
Thank you
that
very much.
I'm so happy hearing that you are that happy right now. And I have something that I would like to ask you. It's
Okay.
if you were imagine these people that right now in Nigeria, another country of Europe, Africa, anywhere is starting. The startings, as you know, are not easy, and you have experienced a big change in your life. What advice would you give to someone working hard today, but is still waiting for their chance?
Hmm. That's a very good question, Pablo. And I think one thing I would say is, first of all, be eager to learn. Be eager to learn. I think when I started back then, I didn't know anything about dynamic CRM. Like I didn't know anything about dynamic CRM, and I was like, okay, let me sit down to learn. Where are the resources? And I started finding resources. Thank God I had the opportunity of physical people training us, and where you could ask questions to them and people you could go to for help if need be. So I think it's good to identify those people as well. So if you're in a space at the moment and you're working as a lone ranger, that's not good. You need to have or belong to a community, because I would say belonging to a community also helped me. My first training opportunity was from a community. The leader of the community then said, um, the way you talk, I think you can take on training. And I'm like, come on. I've never trained even online training for 30 minutes. It was like, no, you can do it. Then, the way we have after Microsoft Ignite, you have these community meetups, and then you discuss the trends, the high points in the Ignite conferences and all. Then we took on the first session. It was nice. We did another one. It was cool. And before I knew it, I did one on data flows, I think, which is on YouTube today, which lasted about almost an hour. And I noticed I started building the confidence to do these things. So if I did not belong to a community, those opportunities will not come, because you might be feeling you're doing well until you meet or join a community, then you'd see that there is more to be done. So I think that really helped and pushed me as well. Then another thing that I saw that I was doing then with some of my friends then was that, so we stayed back when we had the time. Like some could have the time, some might not have the time, and some might need to create the time. But the thing is, you would need to set yourself apart to be able to go through those like you need to go the extra mile. Let me use that word. So there has to be an extra. I remember then at a point when people talk about licensing, they say, "Oh, go to Funsho, go to Peace." It was I and Peace. She was always with me, like we're 5 and 6 then in support. People say, "Go to these two guys." There was a day we stayed back just looking through the support documentation to be able to understand it, ask the right questions, break it down, identify gaps. And before we knew it, in the team, they knew us as the licensing guys. So you would need to take that extra step to focus on those other areas that I think not everybody might be interested in. And there is one thing that Rosario said, I remember back then. So Rosario was introducing us to Power Platform. She was mentioning everything. And she said Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, Dataverse. And she got to data flows. And she said, although this is pretty new, but in subsequent months or years, it's going to be doing this, but it's not our focus. And she also made mention of data integration on the admin center, doing the same thing, similar to that, but with limited sources. And she also explained this also is not really in our scope, but you should know it's there. And guess what? I decided to pick interest in those two things. Now, guess what? Further down the line, in about 6 to 8 months, we started receiving support tickets on data integration and data flows. So at that point, it's like I already set myself up for an opportunity that was to come. So, in other words, and when you do things like this, you start putting yourself there in the open to be recognized for some certain things. And at a point, I was recognized to be a T4 in the team, training the team's technical guys. And at a point also, I was recognized to be a team lead as well
I totally
within.
agree.
So in a way, these are the things that would actually kind of position you doing the extra work, doing the things nobody wants to do. Then I also noticed something. I don't know why, but I think I have a knack for tough things. Like if the thing is tough, let me see it. Let me see it. So I think I had that hunch for something like that. So if you are someone that has that kind of hunch, then don't shy away from tough solutions or tough problems to solve. Because if you solve them, then it means you've already broken a barrier and you have opportunities to do more. So I think those are the few things I would say I did back then, and that actually made some of what we're seeing today happen. At least all accompanied with God's grace, too.
Nice, nice. And yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And you were, I can tell you that most of your team were not like that. And that's why things happens. So really congrats. And yeah, finishing the interview, I have the last questions. Do you
Okay.
remember any funny, unforgettable memory from your days in support with us?
Yes, I have quite a lot. So the physical one was when Miguel came to Nigeria, and we
Dangerous
had this
history.
we had this open area, and
Miguel was the
in
escalation engineer, if someone is
yes,
saying this in support.
yes, it is in Portugal. Yeah, it was the escalation engineer. So when he came to Nigeria, it was a whole vibe with him. Like you can hardly read his emotions. You can hardly, and the thing is, it's just there, simple. And it is, and I think is one person that also it pushes you. Like for instance, you're writing an email, an escalation email, or you're trying to resolve something, you're trying to build something. It asks you question that makes you question what you're doing, so that you are kind of a step ahead. So I think those were some funny moments because I haven't seen anyone with that kind of personality. Now, Rosario came. Rosario was a different personality. Rosario was fun. She was like the mommy. Like, you know, she was just cool. Like, in fact, I'll say that Microsoft did a good job sending her first because she actually set the basis, for, like the foundation that many of us actually built on today. And Miguel came, and I remember we going to the breakout to play PlayStation 5 then. And it was fun seeing him gaming with the rest of the guys. So that was one aspect. Then the second is when we had COVID. You know, we needed to still keep working, so we were lodged in an hotel back then in Nigeria, and we're working from the hotel residencies. And there was this customer that raised a ticket I think he was from, I think, is it Beirut? I think Beirut. So he raised the ticket and is one of the high risk customers. And there was one day he raised the ticket and it landed with my colleague. And guess what was in the email? He said, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself on technical expertise in this subject matter. I was laughing because he already brought fear. How would you send an email and the first thing is on a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself before you even start conversation? Like that was one till today. If I meet the guy or meet our colleagues, I will just remind them of that scenario and everybody just burst into laughter because it's actually weird getting a client email and it's telling you before we start on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you?
Yeah, we see many crazy things in support, but so funny one, and I'm so happy that you remember that time with it happiness. And now the last question for finish the chat today was so I'm so happy for you, and I really thank you for sharing. If you
Yeah,
can
thank you for
give
having me as well.
nothing, so happy to have it, and I really was eager to know how was your life, and so happy that everything's moved to the position that you are now. If you can could give to the people one short message, what will it be?
Hmm. One message. Wow, I haven't thought of this. Okay, I think one message that I'm going to say is you should actually be open because there are several things that currently now, with the world of agentic and so many things, so it could actually be tough picking a spot to actually try and build on. So I think one thing I would say is what you're doing now, I would say keep at it, look out for opportunities for improvement. It's it could require you to sacrifice time and sacrifice resources in order for you to be able to get to the level that you're looking at. So I would say that take on those sacrifices because it will eventually pay off. Because from experience, I can tell you it pays off. Back then, what I sacrificed the most was time. And I think time is something you would keep sacrificing till we all leave this planet. So I would say that try as much as possible to seek out knowledge, sacrifice time, sacrifice resources to get some of the very things that you know would be of great use to you. And eventually, it is going to pay off. And I think there's another point that I would say is very crucial. So you could find yourself in scenario whereby people talk down on maybe some mentors in your program, so to speak, or they are trying to tell you there is no future in this, there is no future in this. I remember then when we started the community, and someone was telling me, this community, you don't get paid. And back then, I just looked at it. I don't get paid. I didn't say it out loud, but I just thought of it. I don't get paid, but I'm going to grow in knowledge. So why don't I keep at it? So I just didn't push back anything and I continued. I'm sure if that person is seeing this call today, the person will be like, despite not encouraging this guy to continue with this community thing, he did. And see what has happened afterwards. So I would say that listen to that voice inside. Don't let the outer things cloud you because there are lots of distractions out there. So try and stay focused, and you definitely get the reward someday. And I hope it's quick and not too late.
Perfect. Perfect, mate. Thank you so much for all the things you sharing, and thank you so much for everyone so us today. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you will subscribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you for having me.